I have a big head, so it takes a while to like find the right pair. But
Me too.
once
I have a big head too, so I feel you.
Laura, how about you? Do you have a big head?
You know what? I think I do because I can't really wear hats. I don't like the way they look on me.
It's hard to find a good hat though that like fits comfortably and stuff like that.
I think I just have a big head.
Welcome to Millennial, the home of pretend adulting and real talk. I'm Andrew.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Pamela.
And real talk, what are we going to spend our $51 on from Amazon? Because there's this Amazon class action that was recently announced. Amazon agreed to pay up to $2.5 billion to settle claims that it tricked tens of millions of people into signing up for its Prime membership program and then made it hard for customers to cancel when they wanted out. Amazon agreed to pay $1 billion in penalties and between $1 billion and $1.5 billion in payouts to customers who could get $51 each if they qualified. The agency said it was one of the largest settlements in its history. To qualify, customers must fit certain criteria, such as signing up between June 23rd, 2019 and June 23rd, 2025, and, quote, barely, whatever that means, using Prime benefits like video streaming after they enrolled. I don't know if I qualify, actually. I just read the headline. I was like, cool, I'm getting $51.
I definitely don't qualify.
I think I qualify based on when my account was created, but now that I'm thinking about it, if they're trying to say you have to have barely used your Prime benefits, I've not barely used the benefits.
What does that mean, though? Like, are they going to ask you on a form, have you barely used the benefits?
I think they're going to take a look at your account and see, like, how many hours have you streamed? How many purchases have you made, like, through the Prime shipping, stuff like that.
Right. Because the whole thing is, the allegation is that they tricked people into signing up and then made it hard for them to cancel. So probably what they're thinking is, if we can show that you haven't really used this, we'll give you $51, which is kind of funny though, because how much is an Amazon Prime membership yearly? It's
like
more than $51
now. Yeah. I was going to say, if I was getting this credited back to my account, I'd probably just like roll it over and be like, just put it towards the Prime membership so I don't have to pay as much next year.
Yeah, I'd rather take that. Did y'all see, by the way, they're going to crack down on Prime account sharing?
Yes.
That
my
really
brother
blows.
Texted me about this because he's mooching off of my account right now.
Pat and I are mooching off of Pat's parents.
Yeah. And he's like, bad news. You know, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore because Amazon only lets you ship to one address. And I was like, oh, that's really sad for you. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Well, is that going to be the new rule? You can only ship to one address? Because I've got 30 addresses.
Well, I guess like your primary address can only be one address.
Okay.
So like the you could have multiple, like you and Pat could both have separate adult accounts, you know, like household accounts on the same membership. But Pat's primary shipping address cannot be in Wisconsin, say if he still lived out there.
But like sometimes I ship something to my parents through my Amazon account, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody
I
do that?
the same. We do that for the holidays too. So yeah. Or like every once in a while too, like, you know, like if I was talking to like my sister about a book or something, I'd be like, I'll send it to you and I'll just like post it through Amazon. So I don't know how they're going to crack down on that, but that is the plan. Supposedly.
I mean, I guess they are probably looking at the recipient name. But I will say there are times like I crash with my parents quite a bit because they live close. And sometimes I order stuff off Amazon and get it delivered to me at my parents' house.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with this. I guess
that's the same with like any streamer that like the streamers too, because they allot for travel. What if you just travel a lot?
Right. I'm just visiting my parents' house that I visit monthly, which is a totally common thing, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So, Laura, if you do qualify, if maybe you fib on your class action form and say, yeah, I barely use the streaming services and I'm hoping you guys won't actually check, what will you spend your $51 on?
So I thought a lot about this. I'm actually doing some redecorating at home right now. And what I've decided I want to do, I want to look like a plant daddy without actually being a plant daddy. So I'm going to get really nice fake plants to have indoors for like decorative purposes. So I think that's what I'll do.
Yeah,
Ooh,
like the one I have
like
under my
that.
armpit right here. Do you see that behind here? It's been in perfect condition for years,
Is that
and
a
it's
snake
because
plant?
it's fake. Yeah, but it's a fake snake
Oh,
plant.
those are not that hard to take care of, by the way. Laura, if you want to
Okay.
try your hand at keeping something alive.
You know what? I have tried and failed.
So the plants survive in spite of you, not because of you.
Yeah, and I just feel, you know what? Like I don't want the narrative to be one day that I like carried out war crimes against plants because I just didn't do a great job of taking care
That's
of them.
fair.
So, no, I
That's
think
fair.
it's fake plants for me, for the
Well,
aesthetic.
Speaking of war, there was some war-related news today, Laura, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all heard all the rumblings over the last few days as Secretary of War Pete Hegseth called all of our generals, like all 800 of them, to come to DC for a special meeting. Everyone was freaking out because this is not normally something that happens. And, you know, if you're calling in all of your generals, I mean, US generals are stationed around the world. So some of these people had to come very, very far to be there. There was a lot of speculation about, does this have something to do with Russia? Are we getting ready to enter war? What's going on? But no, it was Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump giving these very like unhinged and self-centered autocratic speeches, really trying to gin up all of these generals to get on board with their authoritarian regime or get out of the fucking way. Basically, did you guys see any highlights coming out of this? It was
I watched some
wild.
clips. I mean, for Trump, it was just another campaign event.
Sure.
He was even mad that people weren't hooting and hollering for him and told them they can applaud or go crazy.
He ranted on Hegseth, and I mean, Trump certainly did too, but Hegseth ranted on about, you know, standards being relaxed and how the Department of Defense had become the Department of Woke, and they were now going to be requiring women to meet the same physical standards as men in order to be in combat. Granted, I'm not in the military, so I do not know this for a fact, but I've seen a number of alleged, I don't know them personally, but military creators coming forward and being like, that's always been gender neutral. Like, this is a fiction that's being propagated in order to gin up the military, gin up the base. And ultimately, I think the scariest thing that came out of this was Trump talking about how they should use, quote, dangerous cities like Chicago as training grounds for the military and the National Guard. So basically, we want to turn our military on our civilians, which it's not the first time they've done that this year.
Right.
So,
right.
Well,
not
they
anything
just
new.
announced that they're trying to send military to Portland, right?
Right.
Yeah. How's
So
that
that's-
going, by the
yeah.
way, Pam? Doesn't your brother live in the Portland area?
Not anymore. He's up in Seattle now.
Oh,
But that's not, I mean,
Got
Seattle's
out
probably
just
next.
in time.
Yeah, that's another blue bubble in the Northwest.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
basically,
disgusting.
it seems like if you're a blue city with a black mayor, they're coming for you first.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that, Trump. I mean, he hasn't had any success yet with any of these major blue cities. So,
Well, and it also assumes that, you know, military personnel are willing to go against the Constitution that they swore to
that was
defend.
the other thing, too. Yeah, because they
Like-
could technically say, like, we're not doing that because, you know, this is
Yeah,
not how
well-
you should be deploying us.
Right. Like, following chain of command isn't something that is an excuse when you're committing a war crime, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
So I think, and I mean, just based on the morale in the National Guard that's been deployed, I just don't know how successful it's going to be. Now, that is not to say that there aren't bullies. There are bullies in every institution, right? No group of people is immune to it. But I think what it may mean is when they're not getting what they want necessarily out of the military, I think they're just going to try to keep ramping up ICE, because ICE is more than happy to commit atrocities against people.
Right. But only masked, right?
Right. I know.
And if they can catch them. Y'all see the one video from Chicago?
With the biker?
Yeah, running away. And the ice people just giving up so easily.
There's 10 ice agents.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really embarrassing.
It's great.
It is. Well, that's because the bar for what it takes to, get into ice is so low. It's like, can you fog up this mirror?
Yeah.
Great. You're in.
Are you racist? You're in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. Well, and as if that, wasn't embarrassing enough, it was also an enormous, an embarrassing waste of taxpayer dollars to pull all of these people back here just to listen to these two deranged nincompoops rant on for a couple of hours. We are, as of this evening, while we're recording, it's Tuesday night, we are counting down to yet another government shutdown. It's our favorite quarterly event in season 47 of America.
Yeah. 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 And Trump was at the golf course over the weekend. Instead of trying to get a deal done, I'm just reading now that dueling proposals to extend the government funding failed in the last hours before this midnight deadline. So by the time this episode is out, the government will probably be shut down.
Yeah. And they're trying to blame it on Democrats, even though they literally control everything. They have Congress, they have the presidency, they have the Supreme Court doing their bidding. Trump, in his first term, packed, federal judges. So, I mean, they have everything, but it's still they need those 7 Democrats to come over and vote to not extend Obamacare subsidies, which thus far it seems like Schumer is actually not rolling over like he did last time, which is encouraging to see. But, there's still time, unfortunately. Chuck Schumer, not the most inspiring leader.
So what does get affected in a government shutdown? I'm forgetting. It's been a while since this last holiday.
Yeah. So first of all, non-essential employees are furloughed or, in Trump's case, potentially fired. Trump is over here threatening that if the government does shut down, he's just going to fire swaths of federal employees, which I was reading is technically illegal, but also technicalities don't matter anymore, not when you have the Supreme Court on your side. And really, who gets to decide what's an essential worker versus a non-essential worker is up to the various agencies. But something that I find very disturbing, that I think we should all find disturbing, is that essential employees, like air traffic controllers, still have to work, but they are not paid until after the shutdown ends. I don't know about y'all. I do not feel great about flying right now anyway because of how understaffed air traffic control is. And now we're looking at a scenario where people may not be paid for however long this lasts. And we know from historical precedent that when federal employees are not being paid for an extended period of time during a shutdown, there tend to be walk-offs and mass strikes, which is also going to create all kinds of delays.
And it affects morale.
Air travel. Yeah.
And we've seen some horrific stories just since the start of Trump's second term in terms of air traffic control mishaps. And this is not the type of thing we want to see right now. Yeah, so I'm glad I'm not flying within the next week. I want my air traffic controllers to be paid and happy.
Absolutely. So you might also be wondering about federal programs like Social Security, for example. Those will still continue making payouts. But the employees who oversee the day-to-day operations and processing of new enrollees may be furloughed, which could have an impact on people trying to apply newly for Social Security and disability benefits. So just creates potentially a huge bottleneck in that process for people, in a process that's already a pain in the ass. And then, Andrew, I thought that this one would speak to you the most, although it's certainly not the extent of what happens during a government shutdown. I know it'll impact you greatly. National parks may or may not close. We've seen examples of when they did close. And then we've seen examples where they didn't, they were left open, but the employees who worked there were furloughed. So there was no one manning the parks. And as a result, in 2019 and 2020, they saw a lot of vandalism and just a lot of littering, a lot of damage.
Yeah. Well,
So
guess where
how are you holding up?
Actually, I'm glad you brought this up because me and my Bumble friends are taking our first group trip this weekend. To a national park. So I guess we're going to be running the park while we're there. But the state of Utah has said that they are going to try their darndest to keep their national parks open. And I am going to a Utah national park. So for once, I like Utah's state government.
So they're going to try to keep the parks open, but are they going to try to keep them staffed?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay. I don't know how they handle it, but that's not my problem. I just make sure the gate's open. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how long this government shutdown runs for. Thanks, Trump, who has said multiple times that when the government shuts down, people always blame the president.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to do that here. And honestly, we blame it on all of them. This hangs on every Republican's. This hangs around all of their necks, basically. This is their fault. And they have everything.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous how government shutdowns have turned into a political chess piece. This happens way too often. This shouldn't happen at all. This could be prevented, but they choose not to. They choose to use it to score political points. That aside, with new tariffs on the horizon, we're going to talk about budgeting for splurging, budgeting for fun in this economy. But we're going to take a quick break first, and we'll be right back. So with new tariffs on the horizon, I wanted to talk about budgeting for splurging, spending money on some stuff that makes us happy in the current economy. We're also going to talk about some buy for life items, so you're spending wisely. And then we actually have an update on tariffs on furniture because nothing is safe. So we'll get to that in a minute. But the New York Times did an article on how to budget for a splurge in this uncertain economy. And I thought this was interesting because most headlines are about cutting back in the current economy. But this article highlighted another side of the coin, the value you can get from splurging. And this article looks at $500 meals in Peru or $20 smoothies in LA. It shows that when we plan for indulgences, they don't just buy things that might be considered wasteful, like a $20 smoothie. And I would still argue that is wasteful no matter which way you slice it. But you can splurge and buy memories and joy and connection and, really leave yourself feeling happier. So I wanted to ask y'all, what are your feel-good splurges, whether recent or in the past? Maybe it's a kind of guilty pleasure. And do y'all reward yourselves for certain things? Like maybe you get good news or this big life-changing news and you want to treat yourself.
Yeah, usually for me, that means going out to update my hair, which I haven't. I think the last time I got my hair done this year was in March. So I'm definitely coming due. But I will say the costs for some of these cosmetic services are really starting to make me wonder if it's splurge worthy anymore. And I'll give you a great example. The other day, I decided, I haven't had a mani-pedi for a while.
Ooh.
And I deserve to treat myself. 2025 has been the longest decade ever. And I was like, you know what? I just want to treat myself. So I went in, got a mani-pedi, and it was, before tip, $120.
Oof.
And I was like, this is craziness. And granted, the place that I went, it was clear to me that they were trying to include things to make it worth the cost. But it really connected the dots for me on why I've heard so much commentary lately from people about how they don't want to go to nail salons anymore because it's just gotten so damn expensive and people are learning how to do their nails and their pedicures at home themselves. And I think I'm probably going to have to do the same because I just can't justify that. And I did not realize that it was going to be that expensive, unfortunately, until it was too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what are you supposed to do after they give you the service? And a lot of times they add things on without telling you it costs extra, so it feels really sneaky.
Yeah. So, and like, granted, they did a great job. Like, it was clear to me that they were trying to include things to make it worth it. They were giving me like very, very good service. It was also, it was a nail bar type situation. So I got to have margaritas while I was getting my nails done, which was very nice.
Nice.
But still,
Yeah.
I remember being able to get a mani-pedi for like $60 at one point in time. And like, granted, I know inflation is a thing. I know the costs of everything are going up right now. I understand. These people have to make a living too, right?
Yeah.
But it's just really challenging. And I think what I'm going to have to do for my like mani-pedi splurge is I'm probably going to have to buy myself like some nice equipment to be able to do my nails myself, because I just can't justify spending that kind of money on a one-time service.
Yeah. And then how often to maintain those hands and feet? How often should you be getting a mani-pedi? You know what I mean?
If you're staying on top of it, like every 2 to 3 weeks, just depending.
Yeah, like once a month because of the nail growth.
So you're spending like $1,200 to $1,500 a year in that scenario, Laura.
Yeah.
And I just can't justify that personally.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't either.
Lately, for like big milestones or like big achievements, I've been splurging on jewelry, like nice jewelry.
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to like upgrade the shiny things that I have in my life, because it's just like, it's nice to have. You can wear them out casually or in a more dressy situation. And sometimes it's not about necessarily like buying a new timeless piece, but I've inherited a lot of stuff. And usually when you inherit jewelry, it doesn't like automatically guarantee it'll fit you. So sometimes I'll just splurge on getting something resized so that it will fit. And so then that's really nice because it's like like an heirloom piece, but then I get to enjoy it and I don't just have to sit there and like look at it every time I open my jewelry box.
Yeah.
So
I love that because you can feel better about yourself. You're feeling fab with the jewelry. It's got sentimental value tied to it. If it's family heirloom, there's a lot of reasons it could make you feel good.
Yeah. So I think that like if you haven't thought about doing that, it's investing in something like that. Also, like if you're a gold girl, the price of gold usually stays pretty consistent. So you can also like sell pieces later too if you have no emotional attachment to them. Like jewelry too, good for men. You can buy yourself like a nice like statement watch or like a statement ring that you can just wear when you go out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For me, and this article I mentioned the Peru part. This person spent $500 on a meal in Peru and didn't even really enjoy it. It wasn't her favorite meal ever, but it was the memories that were attached with that $500 meal in Peru, the dining experience, the location, all that.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, I'm trying to splurge more on vacations. I typically do not take real vacations. And I think I've talked about this on the show before. I might do a weekend trip somewhere, but not a real vacation, something you see in the movies. So I am trying to do that more. And the thing that I like about it is that you carry these really happy memories from that vacation for months or years after the vacation ends. And that's something I've noticed that I had forgotten about / didn't realize I would have when I took these vacations. For example, I took a trip to Lake Tahoe a couple years ago. Pat and I did. And I'm still, like, my heart is still full over it. That area was just so beautiful to experience for the first time. Or the cruise I took over last Christmas. I'm just, like, still really happy with how that all went. And these memories just, like, make you happier throughout your day-to-day life, I think. So I'm trying to be more more.
So is it just like the act of going, or are you splurging on, say, like nicer accommodations, like more excursions while you're at that place? Like, what does that entail?
Yeah, I think like it was our first cruise over the holidays, so we got a balcony. I don't think I can ever not get a balcony going forward. So that's a little extra splurge. Or yes, doing excursions. We did maybe one or two too many excursions this first cruise. The next time we do it, I want to chill a little more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think splurging, particularly with the room, like in the case of the cruise, definitely a balcony because it's just so nice to sit out there and enjoy the sea.
I like to do like if I'm like when I have gone to Vegas, I'll do like a spa pass.
Yeah,
sometimes like something like that so that you can take advantage of like the hot tubs. It's a quiet space.
Yeah, maybe in the case of a cruise, there's like spa passes, and if there's kids on the ship, you can get away from the kids.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Similar but different on a much smaller scale. I also love like just like splurging on like a night out with friends. So like like sometimes like that involves like even just like going to see like a show, like like a musical that's in town, and then having like a nice dinner too, where you're not really like worrying about how much the tab's going to be. The idea is just to like go and enjoy a nice dinner.
Yeah.
With people that you like.
I'm glad you bring that up because this New York Times article also brings up splurging on things that align with your own personal values. So figuring out what your values are. And I mentioned the book Dare to Lead by Brene Brown a couple of weeks ago. She talks about how you find your own values and whittle it down to 2, which is really hard. But then living by those 2 specific values, and that helps you really navigate your life. So maybe you decide one of your top 2 values is friendship or togetherness. To your point, Pam, splurge on a great experience with friends. I think one reason this cruise holds so many happy memories with me is because I did do it with friends, and it was a good bonding experience for us. Also, and I wanted to mention this because the new Taylor Swift album is coming out in a couple of days. Something I like splurging on are vinyl records. And I call it a splurge because I don't use the vinyl records. I just have them. I like displaying them,
Yeah. Do you rotate them out of your display?
Yes. Gaga's Mayhem album is on display right now, but Bruce has released 2 big archive packages this year, and I bought those vinyls even though I'm never going to spin them. It's a fun thing to collect.
Would you ever splurge on a record player though? I feel like that might be a nice little. Oh, you do. You just don't like to use it.
Yeah, because you got to play the vinyl, and after 4 songs, you got to flip it over to the other side.
It's like. I feel like I romanticize the act of playing music. I like the act of having to get up and switch it over. Yeah.
That's good that you do. I feel that, but it's just too much of a hassle for me.
I get it. Yeah, Spotify's right there.
Exactly. I got a smart speaker. I can play the music from my phone.
You have your entire Bruce archive. For
yeah.
I'm
not getting up to continue playing my music. So Pam, did you get one of the vinyls?
I always go the day of. So I'll go to my
Target?
No, I'll go to the local record store and pick it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. I recently did splurge on 2 pairs of expensive sunglasses. This was a gift to myself to reward myself for a new gig that I got in my work world.
Oh, nice.
And I also purchased them because of this national park trip coming up. So I wanted to look hot and fresh for it. So I'm ready. I don't typically spend money on sunglasses, but Pam has assured me that by buying expensive sunglasses, I'm not going to lose them.
It's true.
If I do,
I've only ever lost 1 pair of sunglasses in all my years of having like nicer sunglasses.
Okay. I need to like put an air tag on the side of my sunglasses though.
Or you can get some of those like some like the holders that the parents always wear.
Yeah, that's kind of nerd chic. I could rock that and not be embarrassed.
Especially on a vacation. What kind of sunglasses did you splurge on?
Ray-Bans, 2 pairs.
Nice. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, I went for something a little different though, not the whatever the standard.
The Wayfarer.
The Wayfarer, yeah. I went for something. I have a big head, so it takes a while to like find the right pair. But
me too. I have a big head too, so I feel you.
Laura, how about you? Do you have a big head?
You know what? I think I do because I can't really wear hats. I don't like the way they look on me.
It's hard to find a good hat though that like fits comfortably and stuff like that.
I think I just have a big head, and I think hats fit me funny for that reason. So you'll probably never catch me wearing a hat.
Really?
If you do, that's not me.
Yeah. Not even like if you were to go like to the beach or something.
What about the Millennial Dad hat? I just got this from our merch store this week.
It is cute, but I don't know. They don't look right on me. Like I can do like I did with the security consultant hat for our MuggleCast store. I took a picture with that, but it's like I have to hit the right angle for it to look good. If I'm just out and about wearing it, I feel like it looks funny. Of course, like we're all our own worst critics, so there's probably some of that going on too, but I don't know. I don't enjoy the look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you don't like it, I guess it's what matters most. But for what it's worth, when you did take a picture for MuggleCast of you in the hat, I thought you looked like a cutie.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm going to go look up Laura's cutie picture.
Oh.
Do y'all try to save for splurging?
I guess that
I do.
For me, that just like comes along with budgeting in general, you know?
True.
Like I have like a budget, and then I have like the fun allowance, right? So that's like whatever is like unnecessary. You give yourself kind of like an allowance weekly, right? For the other stuff. And then I just like roll it over. I don't use it.
Right. I do something similar. And I think about like this, if I think about this year, I know I want to go on like X vacations, for example. So I'll like figure out approximately like how much it is I'm comfortable spending on travel and try to keep it there, But I will say I do try to save up to splurge on some of those like buy it for life items that I know we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. And something that I recently invested in that like I'm very glad I invested in it, but it also just made me want to throw up in my mouth because I normally buy my furniture from IKEA. And I was like, you know what? I need a new bed frame. And I want to get something that is going to actually last because, IKEA, I think it's fair to say IKEA is here for a good time, not a long time. Like it's especially if you like ever move, I feel like that furniture, especially if it's bulky, it's like so difficult to disassemble and reassemble in a lot of cases. It's not really made for that. So I did pull the trigger on getting a steel bed frame. And that is the sturdiest motherfucker that I've ever seen of a bed frame. And I'm so glad that I got it. But at the same time, I've never purchased a bed frame that was more than like a couple $100. Basically IKEA status, right? And so I'm glad that I got it because it's like an incredibly sturdy piece of furniture that I know I'm going to have for a long time. That bed
won't be rocking in a good way.
No, exactly. It'll be able to maintain its sturdiness.
Yeah, no.
Right, exactly. Should be more discreet.
Yeah, so I have IKEA furniture. I think it works for adults because kids aren't beating it up. If you are in a home without children, I think it holds up better than it otherwise would. Like I've had certain IKEA furniture for years at this point, and I'm having no issues with it. It probably can't survive multiple moves. These have survived. I was just
going to say that, because it's hard to take apart.
Right, or
that's
impossible.
That's the big part. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're like if you're spending like a little bit more on IKEA furniture, it's almost impossible to take apart if you've done it right.
Yeah.
And I know this because I was taking apart a desk that nobody wanted anymore, and I literally almost had to take a sledgehammer to it.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get like the legs off.
Yeah.
So.
But real furniture prices are no joke, Laura. Like I've looked at some couches. We were at a friend's place a couple of weeks ago, and they have Crate and Barrel furniture. I'm like, oh, this couch is amazing.
Like fancy. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
deep.
One step below restoration hardware.
Yeah. The couch sits deep. Like you can really curl up on it. I loved it. I go home, I start looking at Crate and Barrel. I was like, oh, $6,000-$7,000 for a couch. I think I'll pass.
Which, like, no, I cannot ever imagine spending that kind of money on a couch. But I bet that couch is going to hold up for a long time. Or at least for that price, it should.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think what was disturbing to me is I was like, because I'm like in the market for upgrading a couple of other furniture items. And like, I'm doing it in stages, right? Because like, if you're getting a bunch of new furniture at the same time and you're trying to get high quality stuff, that's like, I'm just not comfortable with that, with like going into that kind of debt either. So I'm just like taking my time and like finding things that I actually like and budgeting for them. But I was shocked, like looking at dressers, for example, at like pretty traditionally nice places. Like I even looked in Ethan Allen. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that.
Oh yeah.
I walked in there and immediately I was like, ooh, this is a little too like early American style for me. I'm more of like a modern, understated kind of gal in terms of my aesthetic. But I was like looking in these dressers that were like thousands of dollars, by the way. And these were not anything to write home about. They like all of the drawer seams were just glued together, just like something that you would get from IKEA. And I was like, for these kind of prices, I expect to see something that has a little bit more craftsmanship. Like,
you're like, where's the dovetail?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Where's the dovetail to hold the drawers together?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's look at some Buy It for Life items that our pals over on Patreon said they purchased. This is a new segment we're doing here at Millennial. We're calling it Pen Pals. Camille said a cast iron skillet, also a knife set, cutlery, and other kitchenware that I know is more high quality and worth the higher price because they will last. Megan said my Osprey backpack. I do a lot of field work in my job and bought my first Osprey in 2016. This year it started to show its age, and because they have a lifetime warranty and the issue wasn't repairable, they sent me a brand new backpack for free.
Wow.
They have models that fit a female frame, adjustable everything, and supportive padding. I'll never wear anything else for hiking at work. I'm going to +1 this. I'm not sure if Megan has one that also carries water. It's got like a built-in water pack, but water backpacks are game changers in my opinion. I have one from the Gregory brand, which is very similar to Osprey, and it makes me feel unstoppable while hiking because the way the water is balanced in the backpack, it's like this narrow 3-liter pack that runs up your spine. It makes it feel like you're not carrying 3 liters of water. And it's also got like a straw that comes out of the back so you can easily grab it. It magnetically attaches to one of your straps on your backpack on the front. I'm obsessed with this thing. And of course, you don't just carry water. You can carry your other crap, snacks or whatever else. So highly recommend some sort of hydration backpack. Catherine said, I wish it was something more exciting, but I'm so cheap. The only thing that might last for life is a classic wool coat that my parents gave me heading into college. It's lasted 15 years and I've worn it every winter. I like that because that's a well-made quality item. Probably has a lot of memories with it too.
Yeah. I actually have a pea coat that I got when I was in high school that is still in very good shape to this day.
Matthew said his KitchenAid mixer. John said a leather duffel bag or leather jacket. If they fit and they're taken care of, they will last decades. On the leather front, Kelsey said high quality but not insanely expensive leather purses. The first purse I bought with my first adult paycheck after college still looks nearly new, and my mom is still using some of my grandmother's nice purses from the 50s and 60s. With a little TLC, you can keep a great bag in shape for decades. Either of you ladies carry a leather purse?
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Laura's like, I got mine from IKEA. It's that blue IKEA bag.
I got mine from Amazon.
Okay. Riley said Swiss gear for luggage, backpacks, and other work. Yeah, I've had some Swiss gear stuff. I really like it. Kiana said high quality cake pans and sheet pans. The basic Nordic ware aluminum pans are absolutely worth the money. I do have a Nordic wear piece. I agree with that. And 40 finally sent a long list, but I'm just going to pass along one really specific one. A Tempur-Pedic Luxe Adapt California King bed with adjustable base. You know, splurging on a mattress is probably one of the smartest things you can do because obviously sleep is so important and you want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So, nice
Yeah,
mattress.
I mean, you spend a third of your life sleeping. So,
yeah. It's like my feelings on an office chair. It's either spend a lot on this or a chiropractor. Which would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we know how you feel about going to the chiropractor.
I literally scream when they're making an adjustment. Yeah, I don't feel good. We're going to take one more break, and then we're going to talk about these new furniture tariffs. We'll be right back.
And we're back. So apologies if our conversation thus far kind of gave you the itch to go out and look at doing some furniture shopping, because unfortunately, there are some new tariffs that are set to go into effect on October 1st, the day this show is coming out. There also wasn't a ton of lead time on these. It got announced like last week. So not a lot of time for people to like rush out and panic buy things, but to give y'all kind of the TLDR of what this entails. Trump announced on Monday that he was slapping a 10% tariff on imported timber and lumber and 25% on kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and upholstered furniture. Additionally, they had another proclamation that came out saying that on January 1st, the duties would increase to 30% for upholstered wooden products and 50% for kitchen cabinets and vanities imported from countries that failed to reach an agreement with the United States, which, like, what does that even mean? Like, is it like the pharmaceutical stuff where they were like, if you can show that you bought land here and that you've broken ground, then we won't tariff you. Who knows?
God. Yeah. And as an aside, real quick, he announced tariffs on movies made outside of America, which literally makes no sense. How are you going to tariff these movies when they come in air quotes to America? It's so ridiculously stupid. It's like not going to happen.
We export way more than we import foreign cinema. Yeah. Although I do wonder, like that is like a form of like, there's a theory in international relations called protectionism, and like the textbook example that they always give is like how France has a rule in order to protect French cinema, which is like a big tentpole in their culture, that they have to like greenlight and showcase a certain percentage of French cinema every year so that they can import movies from other countries. Like something like that makes sense.
Totally.
You know, but doesn't make sense the other way around when we're like the number one exporter.
Right. Well, and I'm glad you brought up that example, Pam, because there are cases where tariffs can be used strategically and it makes sense. Like, for example, under the Biden administration, we placed a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs, right, to protect the American EV market, because we knew that that could potentially be an undercut and threaten our electric vehicle market, right? So, like,
smart.
If you're using it to protect your industries, that's one thing. But if you're using it to try and punish somebody else, it has a huge chance of backfiring, obviously, because they can just do it back to you. Some of these lumber and furniture tariffs are set to begin actually on October 14th. I think I might have said October 1st. October 1st, correction, is for the 100% tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals. So you can pump the brakes a little bit. You still have some time if you want to go out and panic buy furniture. Is anyone looking to do something like that over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I'm not getting that Crate and Barrel couch now, I guess.
Right?
I guess I can go and see if they offer me any good deals, but
I'm not, but I did text a friend of mine who's been going back and forth on buying a couch for the last few months, and just said, hey, by the way, like if you're on the fence and you're leaning more towards doing it, I would pull the trigger now. if you can, and if not, then at least before the end of the year to save yourself a little bit more money, because you're just going to have to pay more for the same thing. And that would piss me off, honestly.
For sure.
If I had been shopping around and I basically like knew exactly what I wanted, and I was just kind of like waiting to pull the trigger for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, this is also going to have a trickle down effect to like home improvement, for example, because if there are tariffs on like imported timber and lumber, like that, you're going to see that reflected in the costs of like home improvement projects that you do when you hire contractors to come in. Like, not only will the material costs increase, but the labor costs probably will too, because you can't affect one part of the market and not expect other areas of the market to be affected too. It'll be like COVID was. Do y'all remember during COVID?
The shortage on wood. Yeah.
Yes. That was part of the reason it took them so long to finish my remodel here.
That's right. Yeah.
Through no fault of my own, I got flooded out of my home. And it took them forever to get it done, partly because the contractors I was working with kind of sucked, but also they were dealing with material shortages, but also the fact that they had quoted me for the work before the shortages started and before things got more expensive. So that contributes to slowing stuff down too.
BT Dubs, if you're a Costco member, look at their furniture. They have some really good stuff. I'm looking at a sectional right now as we're talking that seems similar to the Crate and Barrel one. I want a deep couch. I want a deep, cozy couch. I'm obsessed with this idea now.
You know what? The best thing I ever pushed for was making sure that like all the family homes have deep couches, because then you can nap on them.
Yeah. I want a bed. I want my
it's like my grandparents just upgraded, my stepmom upgraded, my mom upgraded, and we were all like at least 40 inches deep, please.
Send me a picture of one of these when you get a chance. I want to see what's happening.
Sounds so cozy.
Like the G's homes.
Yeah.
Well, something I wanted to revisit on the topic of furniture. We spoke before on the show how it felt like at least this group, we don't tend to put as much stock into inheriting furniture items from family. I know I think I expressed the point of view of like, I feel like I increasingly see more family members like trying to pawn
the tables
things
might
off.
be turning, Laura.
And honestly, I'm like, oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
Right. It's like maybe I do want your bed frame, Grandma.
Yeah.
At least it's wood. So this is my thing, right?
Yeah.
Like yes, like for the most part, do not want most of the things that relatives are trying to get rid of. But every once in a while, it's like, you know what? For right now, because I would prefer, if I have the time, to go to like affordable like antique stores or thrift shops to try and find something like a dresser, because I would prefer like a wood dresser or a wood shelf more than I would like a lot of these like crappy, substitutes that they use these days. But it takes time to find those things, so if somebody has something that they're willing to part with and it's like, okay, I can like deal with this even if it's not my taste for now, I'd much rather do that. But it's tough because like, especially for something that you're like putting in your house, a lot of it has to do with like style. So if that person's style is not really your style, you might not want to take it. And that sucks.
That's what worries me. So if it's from the family, how old is this furniture? I could do like a nice like bar cabinet maybe. I just can't imagine inheriting like a couch, because those styles evolve over time.
Yeah.
Maybe a couch, no. Like, although I will say, like, if you're on a budget and you need to inherit a couch, like, you could always get a couch cover too.
True.
To like, it's like, at least then it's like a color that you don't hate. And they don't look as bad as you think they do.
Yeah.
These days.
Yeah.
So, that is an option. It just depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of it, like you're right, like a couch like might not be as comfortable, but like sometimes I will second guess like my choice to say yes or no if it's like a wood piece, because again, like real wood furniture is so hard to come by these days.
If it's a nice piece of wood furniture, I could probably I could see myself wanting
Yeah,
that.
like a bedside table or something that's like not too bad.
Maybe a
'Cause
dresser.
you can always like upcycle that. Like you could strip it, you could paint it, you
Yeah,
can add
restain
new
it.
handles. Like you can put a little elbow grease into that and not have it be like too big of a project.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, my great grandfather, who I never knew, but he was a builder, and there's a lot of like furniture that's in the family that is stuff that he built, that it's solid wood and it has held up to this day. So those are some things that I'm actually kind of interested in now, especially with this whole situation. There's actually a dresser that I kind of have my eye on. I need to talk to my
Ooh.
mom about it and see if she'll relinquish it to me.
Oh, your mom already has it.
She does, but it is not in use.
Oh, okay. Well, even
So,
better. Just say, Mom, like
yeah.
I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah,
I
let
thought
me
it
get
was
it out
still
of your
your
way.
grandparents' house. Sometimes that's trickier,
No,
because
oh,
then other
yeah.
family are like they have their eye on the nicer things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But no, so it's funny because this dresser was actually my childhood dresser. It's the dresser I used like my
Oh,
entire childhood until I went to college. And so she has it back now. But yeah, it may be in use, but it's not like frequent use, if that makes sense. I feel like it might be
Yeah.
more like storage right now.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I'm in the neighborhood for a new dresser. Can we talk about this?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what
I'm
Mama T
crossing my
says.
fingers for you.
Plus, it's
Thank
you.
you.
You're her
Yeah.
daughter. Like, I would think
Yeah.
maybe she has a little hesitation, but on the other hand, it's staying in the
Well,
family. It's not like you're asking
she's-
to sell it.
She knows you're going to take care of it too.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering for this panel, and I know we've chatted a little bit about this earlier, but when we're budgeting for high quality items for these like buy it forever items, what does that look like for y'all, especially with everything else that you're having to prioritize? Because, life is still lifing out here.
Yeah. The move I would do, and actually, we're kind of looking for a bigger kitchen table right now, and we want to get a good quality one. So if we decide to bite the bullet on that, I'm going to, and I would recommend other people do this, look for a new credit card with those introductory no APR for the first 12 months offers. And that way you could pay it off over the course of the year without the interest. Plus, you could score an introductory bonus from that credit card. We see this a lot of the time. Like if you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, you'll get an extra 100,000 points. And then you can use that for a vacation, splurge on some good memories. So I would recommend opening a new credit card if you think you can handle that and taking advantage of those no APR financing for the first 12 months.
Honestly, the biggest thing I do is I just kind of shop around. Sometimes I'll wait for like holidays, like if I know a holiday's coming up, because usually like most places will have some kind of discount. A lot of the stuff that I've been upgrading in the last, I would say like 5 to 10 years, as far as like the home is concerned, is really stuff in the kitchen. So like upgrading to a really nice set of knives, for example, because then you can just pay to have them sharpened and they're going to last for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just kind of like wait. And then also like knives you can buy individually, which is nice. So maybe it's less about buying like a set of pots and pans and more about just buying a piece like here and there when what you have, which is just fine but not great, really is like ready to be tossed out, And
Yeah.
that way like you're not paying like the full sum at once, like you're just kind of like slowly accruing the nicer stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of the approach that I take in general with this kind of stuff. Like I was talking about earlier, like you don't have to get everything at once. Like wait until you find the things that you actually feel strongly about. But the other recommendation I was going to make is look at estate sales.
Yeah.
You
Ooh.
can do really well. And it's not 100% because a lot of times at estate sales, there's a lot of cheap crap too that people are trying to get rid of. But you can sometimes find some diamonds in there for sure. Not literally, probably, maybe, but
If you're lucky.
yeah, if you're lucky, but especially when it comes to furniture, because a lot of times people just don't have anywhere that they can put that stuff.
Mhm.
So
Facebook Marketplace too. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, you can find some good stuff. Also, like if you live like kind of near a nicer part of town, I would join the Buy Nothing groups because a lot
Yeah.
of times old people are just trying to get rid of stuff, and you can get stuff for free as long as you go pick it up.
Yeah, or antique stores.
Yeah, I do a lot of antiquing and thrifting and stuff like that.
Antique stores are so much fun. It's
Mhm.
like a treasure hunt. You
yeah.
could also, I mean, there's community yard sales. Like in my community, twice a year, there's a big area-wide community yard sale. That's always fun to browse. And like in the case, Vegas is kind of a transient area. People are always moving, so people are always
Yeah.
selling some big shit.
I would also like tell your friends too, like if you have friends that also like to like pop into thrift stores or antique stores, like tell each other what you're looking for, because then, if somebody else happens to spot it, they can be like, hey, like, didn't you say you were looking for like a table, Andrew? Like,
With our
I
powers
just saw this
combined.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
I
My
thought
friends
you were
and I
going to
do that all the
suggest
time.
doing cute antique dates, like on
Oh,
a
well, that
Saturday,
too.
go
That's my
antiquing
favorite.
together.
Yeah. With a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Mooch
that
around in
sounds
the antique
lovely.
store.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's
And
a
then
town near me that's like, it's got so many. You could like be like antiquing for hours out
and
there.
then and then go see the new Downton Abbey movie together, because
Perfect.
that's an
Yeah.
elder
Do that first so
person.
that's you and the old
Yes.
people at 10 a.m. early bird,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound like the best day?
Yes, and that should be my rec this week, even though it's not. That movie was so damn good, the new Downton Abbey movie. It had no business making me cry, but it did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Laura, did Mama T cry?
I don't think so, but she really
Okay.
enjoyed it.
Ask her if she
Okay.
cried. Ask her.
will.
Say,
She's
Andrew
not much
cried,
of a
did you?
crier.
Me
Okay.
neither. I'm dead inside. That's why I was so shocked that this movie made me
Oh.
cry.
So this show is brought to you by listeners like you. You can enjoy all of the gossip behind the scenes in After Dark.
We got a good After Dark this week for everyone. I'll just say it's so good I can't even tease it. It's so good. The tease is too hot for the public. We have tons of great perks at patreon.com/millennial. So get started today with a 7-day free trial to check out all of our bonus content, including After Dark, plus our live streams and ad-free episodes. And if you sign up for an annual subscription, you'll get 15% off your membership.
If you want to wear your love, visit shop.millennialshow.com to grab official show gear. We'd also appreciate it if you told a fellow millennial about the show, and make sure you're following us in your favorite podcast app every week.
We'd love to hear from you as well, so email millennialshow@gmail.com. You can also use the contact form on millennialshow.com. Leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube, or DM us on social, whatever is convenient for you. Let us know your buy once for life items, as well as how you budget for splurging. It's time for some recommendations. I already said mine. It's an Osprey or Gregory hydration backpack. These will make you feel unstoppable, not just while you're hiking, but maybe while you're running errands or just at the beach. I've brought mine to the beach before. Excellent way to easily carry water and other things.
My recommendation is something that I was late to the party on, and it's Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Reason for this being one of our listeners over on MuggleCast has been like trolling me for the past month, trying to get me to watch Umbrella Academy. So the other night I was like, fine, I'll watch it. And I sat down and started season 1, and it immediately sucked me in. So it's definitely my vibe. And if you're into anything that's like mystical adjacent, but also mystery themed, I think you'll like it too.
And if you want to start doing your own manicures at home, like Laura's about to, and you don't mind using regular nail polish, I would recommend picking up the Orly in a Snap Quick Dry Top Coat to help cut down on the drying time. I always have at least 2 bottles of this on hand because I save one specifically for whenever I use red nail polish, because red tends to stain clear polish. And anyway, it's about $13 at the drugstore, but I always pick mine up at TJ Maxx because you can usually find it for about $6. So yeah, check there first if you want to try it out.
After Dark starts in a moment for Patreons and Apple Podcast subscribers. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm Andrew.
I'm Laura. And I'm Pamela.
Bye, everyone.